Is SUI the next Solana? And what does SUI's price action in 2025 actually look like? Today, we're uncovering the hood and looking at some of SUI's early investors and why that's great for price action today. And then we're going to be looking at a DeFi metric nobody's talking about. But before we look at the early investors, let's check out some of the recent price action on SUI. Now, looking at the market cap. So the market cap in January hit over $15 billion. It was actually right there, $16 billion market cap. And if you look today, the market cap is only about $7 billion. And so SUI's price has been cut largely in half. And so with this 50% discount, is it a good time to buy SUI? Well, let's dive in. Now, looking at the early investors, this is the Series A and the Series B. So these are the early rounds here. Now, Series A was all the way back in December 2021. They raised $36 million. And look at some of these people. Now, number one, we have Andreessen Horowitz, considered the top crypto VC in Silicon Valley. So this is very bullish, but you also see Samsung was an early investor as well. So a lot of bullishness when you look at the first round. And when you look at Series B, it looks even more bullish. Now, Andreessen Horowitz, they doubled down. They said that first round wasn't enough. I want to throw in more money. So that's always bullish when you see an investor make it round to round to round, especially when they're staying a top investor. It lets you know that maybe they're seeing something that they don't want other people to see. Coinbase Ventures, very bullish here, being that Coinbase was an investor. And then Circle. Circle is the stable coin issuer of USDC. So we have huge players investing in SUI. But now let's look at the DeFi metrics, and then we'll go into the chart. So the first DeFi metric I want to look at here is DEX volume. So this is from DeFi Llama. And so when you go to DeFiLlama.com, you go all the way down here, you're going to see volumes, pull that tab down, and then you'll see DEXs. Click on DEXs, and SUI has just been killing it lately. So when you go to DeFiLlama.com, you're going to scroll down to volumes, click on volumes, and you're going to see DEX chains. Click on DEX chains, and then you can see the breakdown per chain, how the DEX volume has been doing lately. And when you sort by 24-hour volume, you can see SUI has just been killing it lately. It is a top 10 chain. It's up about 200 million daily active volume here. Next metric I want to look at is the stablecoin. So SUI has just been seeing a stablecoin surge, and it has to do with one of those early investors. So you saw that Series B was Circle. Circle is behind the USDC stablecoin. And so right now we're looking at total stablecoins market cap, but the metric I want to talk about is growth within this market cap. So you're looking for SUI, you're not really going to see it. SUI has just been kind of getting crushed by Ethereum, Tron, Solana, BSC. A lot of other chains have really been doing pretty good stablecoin volume. But when it comes to growth in stablecoin, SUI has been just beating all the competition. When you look at 7-day change, this metric right here, Ethereum, flat. Tron, flat. Solana, okay, it's up 1% here. Hyperlink, okay, it's up 2%. Go down to SUI. SUI is up 23% over the last 7 days. And you see what is losing stablecoin. This is the amount of stablecoins within the ecosystem. Near is losing stablecoins. Optimism's losing stablecoin. Barachain, Sonic, Mantle, and Phantom even slightly here. And when you look at the dominant stablecoin, when you scroll to the right on SUI, it is USDC. 74% of the stablecoin is USDC on SUI. And so that just kind of points at that early investment round. Circle is putting their money where their mouth is, and they're not only investing in SUI, but also seems like they're bootstrapping the ecosystem with their stablecoin. I want to give a quick shout out to LBank Exchange. It is my favorite exchange to get all of the latest trading pairs, all of the hottest meme coins and altcoins. You can go to the spot trading, or you could do futures perpetual trading. And we have a link down below with the tutorial on the top of our page. Tons and tons of features here, 24/7 customer support, huge reach here, huge volume, millions of users, and they have over 200 countries and regions covered. So go ahead, open up an account, deposit some funds, and start your trading journey. All right, now last DeFi metric I want to show you, and then we're going straight to the charts here. This is SUI, and I'm looking at TVL, total value locked. And a lot of times, total value locked, this is money being locked in the ecosystem within DeFi protocols, will front run price action. So when you look at the total price history, you'll notice this area right here, the price kept declining as the TVL started to rise. When we zoom in a little bit, you can see the yellow line, which is SUI's price, didn't really find a bottom until about October, but you can see the TVL kind of found a bottom in July, August, and so it front ran the price action by a few months. So let's fast forward to today. When you completely zoom out, you'll see a little bit of a divergence with the price and the TVL. You can see the blue line, largely following, and then about a month ago, it started to break away. And so if the price follows previous trends, we might see SUI start pumping over the next month or two. But you want a chart, so I'm gonna give you charts. Now, the first one is from Crypto Target. It's a smaller account there, but it is followed by John Cena. I just can't ever see his account. SUI on the 1 day, perfect compression, downtrend line respected for weeks, but support never gave up. That is not weakness in the coin, that is the pressure building. And when you zoom in here, you can see, key support level was maintained. So could we be looking at a little blast off for SUI's price action? Next chart is a weekly candle looking at a cup and handle pattern here. So SUI on the 1 week chart retested the neckline of a cup and handle, which is the major support right now. It looks clean. I believe the midterm correction is ending and we're gonna print new all-time high this year. And I also think we're gonna get a new all-time high. And so you can see the cup right here, large handle, if we're gonna be honest, and then the patented handle retest. And so now we're looking for a nice bullish action for SUI. But now let's talk about my charts here, because I found something with the Elliott wave theory. Now, I've covered Elliott wave in the past. Just a quick background. There was a guy named Ralph Elliott. He introduced the Elliott wave theory in the 1930s. We're looking at almost a century ago. And he was a former accountant, and he looked at 75 years of market data, and he discovered distinct patterns and recurring cycles with price movements. And it's called the Elliott wave theory. And so there are 5 waves of this theory, and we're going to look at SUI's price and how it's following this and what can we expect for the next move for SUI. So wave 1 is the first step towards the broader trend as some investors begin to see possible opportunity. Okay, you can see wave 1 right here is the first step. Investors, they're smelling the opportunity, and then that's when we end up creating a new all-time high. Wave 2, that's the corrective wave. Retraces part of wave 1, but does not go beyond the beginning of wave 1. And so you can see right here, all right, so the wave 2 corrected part of wave 1, but didn't set in a new low. So now to wave 3, frequently the lengthiest and most formidable wave. It typically continues past wave 1. When we go to this, yes, we continued past wave 1, and looking at the 5 waves, it is the longest and most formidable wave. So we're sticking with it so far. What about 4 and 5 here? 4, another corrective wave, retraces smaller amount versus wave 2. What do you see right here? It looks like it is a smaller amount versus wave 2. And then the final and the fun wave here. This is characterized by prices surging to fresh highs, typically driven by excitement. If we get our altcoin season like we're expecting a bullish end of 2025, and we're seeing wave 5 here. This is all spelling very, very bullish for SUI. But now let's do some price predictions here. So the first one we're gonna do is just a logarithmic trend line. Then we're gonna go to the regular chart, which I think is gonna be a little bit more accurate. So sticking with this trend line, top of wave 1, top of wave 3, that could take us to the top of wave 5 potentially. But on the log chart, since we're using the log chart, it's gonna give us a very bullish number. That is a $10 SUI. $10 SUI. I don't know if that's going to be super accurate here. So we're going to go back to a regular chart versus a log chart. This is going to give us a little bit cleaner data. Now, on a regular chart, you can see, okay, the trend line isn't quite as strong. In fact, it looks like it's going to end, significantly lower. But we still got a nice little trend here. That would give us a little bit more realistic target of a $7 SUI. So that's what I'm looking at here. Potential $10, but $7 to me, it's not unlikely when it comes to SUI's price action, so I would not be sleeping on SUI right now. You have Circle, Andreessen Horowitz, even Samsung investing in this. You're seeing the stablecoins surging over to the SUI ecosystem, so now is not when I would be selling my SUI. Now, one last thing I want to show you that is incredibly bullish, and this is something that has only happened twice in SUI's history, and it just happened a third time, and it's been very bullish every single time, and that is a bullish divergence, not on the daily, not on the 4-hour, but on the 3 days. So the larger the time frame, the more I respect it here. And so when we found a bottom over in this area, you can see on the 3-day chart, we created a bullish divergence. The RSI had a higher low while the price made a lower low, and then SUI was off to the races. That was an incredible pump to catch. You end up getting about a 5x there. Next bottom was also marked by bullish divergence on the 3-day, and then you also had an insane run. If you caught that bottom there, you're looking at a 10x, and now we're looking at another bullish divergence at the bottom of this channel. This has only happened 3 times if you include this period right here. So to me, this is very, very bullish for SUI. That's all I got. I'm Deezy, and hopefully I'll see you in your SUI bags at the top. SUI!